Let's see if this works this time. It's been a very long time. And I don't see myself, so that's interesting. Okay, now I see myself. Sorry. You know I've never been good at doing this. So, yeah, it's been a long time. Flavorah has come out with new flavors, and I figured I would try to do a video for the first time in like a year and some months. So forgive me if I am extremely rusty, things of that nature, because like I said, it's been a very long time. So I think there was 18, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, I think there's 18 new flavors that Flavorah has come out with. I have mixed 6 of them so far, and I figured I would try them out on camera and give just some thoughts on it and percentages, which, mind you, I do mix lower than most people, so just bear that in mind. Hello, James. So we're just going to get into it. We might chit chat later, it depends. So I mixed all of these starting at 0.5% because I don't know, I haven't really single flavor tested Flavorah in a while, and I couldn't really remember, but I want to say I might have started with 1% at one point. But anyway, I didn't want to go too high because I know the last time I did them all at one, that some were way too high. So I wanted to kind of start on the lower end because it's easier to do that way. So I did them all at 0.5% and ended up having to increase all of them, which 0.5% is very low. Most people are mixing them at 1 to 2, if not higher. We'll start with the red vanilla soda. When I tried it at 0.5%, I could definitely taste it. It just was very low. Like a very subtle flavor. But the flavor I was getting was accurate. And these have been sitting for a couple days. I let them sit each time a couple of days. Mainly but just because I just didn't get around to vaping them again. I do like to give them some time to sit just in case there's any off notes from like a fresh mix or whatever. But yeah, these have been sitting for, I want to say 4 days each time I mix them. So right now it's at 0.75%. I increased them by 0.25, and honestly not a whole lot of difference. But yeah, some people, I guess, don't know what Red Pop is or have never had it. But like the Faygo Red Pop is kind of like a vanilla cream soda type flavor. It has like a little bit of like a bubblegum note to it. I like it personally, but I guess not every area has it. Hello, Adam. But I would say it's accurate to the profile that it's supposed to be, which is, you know, always good. I don't really get any carbonation from it, but honestly, there's hardly any that I would say flavoring wise that gives that kind of effect. Like, it's hard to simulate a physical sensation like carbonation, things of that nature. It's hard to replicate in that into a flavor or a scent. I don't really get any off notes, but like I said, it does have like this little hint of bubblegum to it. Vanilla, and oh, it's kind of the main thing, and like a cream soda vibe. So I would say if you like cream soda and don't mind like a little bit of a bubblegum note to it, I would check it out. And you're probably going to want to mix it, I would say at least 1%, because even I might be able to bump it up to 1% and be fine with it. And the reason I don't increase things too much is because my palate, at least the way it used to be, it has changed over the years, tends to be a little bit more sensitive than most people. And when I mix too high, I get off notes and flavor muting. So that's why I go lower. Plus, it's just easier to add flavor than take away. Because if you mix it too high and then you have to dilute it down to like whatever, it's more involved. I mean, you can do it, it's just more tedious. Next one I tried is the Creamsicle, and I think this was my favorite last time I tried it. Yeah. If my hair looks like weird, it's because it is. It's like a green-blue color, which isn't really coming... You know, I've always had like lighting issues for whatever reason. That's why it's coming across kind of strangely, because it's a strange kind of color. Hello, Fresh. As for the Creamsicle, I might have actually preferred it lower because I was getting more orange from it, but maybe it's just it sat too long. I'm not entirely sure, but it's essentially what most people said it is. It's like an orange Julius smoothie kind of thing. Like it's orange, it's cream. I don't know if I would say popsicle-y because it's missing some kind of element that a popsicle type creamsicle would have. It's almost like those push pops. They come in like look like a toilet paper roll type tube thing, and then it had like the sherbet inside. Kind of reminds me of those, like the little push pop thingies, like the orange ones, which, you know, I like orange sickles or whatever, creamsicles. Yeah, I like the hair too. It's just, it's not coming true to color on camera. It's coming across kind of, I don't know, almost pastel-y. In real life, it's kind of like a gem tone green with a hint of blue in it. But yeah, I like it. I think I probably would just back it down to 50 or 0.05% for me, or not let it steep as long, because some of that orange has faded a little bit. And then I think my second favorite one is the next one we're going to do, which is the pink lemonade. It was either the creamsicle or the pink lemonade that was my favorite. I don't remember. But I've always been very partial to lemon vapes. They're actually one of my favorite things to vape. And which is why that, along with strawberry, which is my other favorite thing to vape, I started not being able to taste it because I vaped it to the point where it just caused that. I don't know what causes it, like why some people get it and some people don't. I don't know. But it got to the point where I can't taste strawberry or lemon vapes anymore. I will say the pink lemonade, when I did try it, I did taste it as it's supposed to be. So I don't know if it would take longer for me to vape it, for me to lose it. I don't really know. I'm probably going to test that theory today. Because I might, you know, vape this instead of my all-day vape just to see how long it takes if it fades. Hello, Leo. But yeah, pink lemonade, like the others, 0.75%. It's a little less punchy than it was when I tried it at the 0.50. But lemons do kind of fade sometimes after they sit. And this second time that I, you know, added the flavor, it sat a little bit longer than the first time I had mixed it at the 0.5. So maybe that's why. But it's just pink lemonade. It tastes like it's supposed to. Like if you've ever had the pink lemonade Kool-Aid, it's kind of like that. I've heard other people say country time. I don't know that I've ever had the country time pink lemonade. When I go that route, I usually just get the regular lemonade. But, I mean, it tastes like it's supposed to. It does have a little bit of sweetness to it, but mind you, I do kind of go heavier on the VG side, which VG inherently is sweet, so it could be from that, or that could be helping with that. It's not like overly sour or anything like that. I'm not getting any off notes. It doesn't taste cleanser like you can get with some lemons, like pledgy. Hello, Cherokee. Oh, I meant to ask, like, do I sound okay? Like, I actually had to hook everything back up because when I got a new desk a while back, and since I hadn't streamed in literally over a year, I was like, there's no point in me putting my webcam back up and the microphone back up, so I just took them off. So I actually had to put everything back together. And I know sometimes when I would stream, my audio would take tweaking to sound good. So, and I'm not horribly acclimated to OBS. I never have been. Okay, good. But yeah, the pink lemonade's good. I probably, again, would like try to vape it a little bit closer to when I mixed it instead of letting it sit. And I'd probably leave it at 0.5%, but most people are gonna need the 1% and higher. So that's that one. The other ones I did, and I don't know why I didn't do both, because there's a Salmiak, which is licorice, but like with like a little bit of a saltiness to it. And then there was regular licorice. Why I didn't mix both, I don't know, so I could, you know, tell you what the differences are. I guess, didn't think about it. I'm kind of rusty. But I mixed the Salmiak because it smelled better. And that was literally the only reason. Plus, I was kind of curious to see if it was a little bit salty. So if you don't know, at one point I actually did a taste test of licorice from overseas, because somebody had mentioned that the black licorice that we have here in the US is not anywhere near what it is there. So I wanted to see if, you know, it was better or whatever. Plus I never had like the Salmiak, so I wanted to try it. So I have actually had that. And it is quite salty. I don't know how I feel about salty candy personally. It wasn't bad, like it wasn't terrible, but it was just, I don't know, black licorice to me, it's just not something I gravitate to. Like if I'm gonna have candy, it's not gonna be that. But in a vape, for whatever reason, sometimes it can be pleasant. So again, this is 0.75, like everything else. And yeah, I will say, agree that the licorice over there is better. I just probably wouldn't have gone the Salmiak route, because I don't really want it to be salty. I'm salty enough. I don't need my candy to be salty. Okay, so this one is the first one that I've tried that actually is better at the higher percentage. And if I recall correctly, when I first tried these, this was one of the least punchy, meaning, I guess, strong. Like I could still taste what it was supposed to be, but it was very light. So at this one, I do think I probably prefer 0.75. But yeah, I mean, it is black licorice. Do I distinctly taste like a Salmiak opposed to licorice, like a regular black licorice? No, but I'm not exactly a expert in that, so I don't know. It's a good black licorice. If I do any more of these videos, I'll do the other licorice to compare them, because that probably would have been a smart thing to do. But the Salmiak's good. And the way that I like black licorice in vapes is mixed with citrus, like lime. There was one, what was it called? Fluid? Somebody had made like a fluid clone, I want to say it was called, way back in the day. And it was a licorice and like a lemon, or not lemon, lime, and like some other stuff. And I actually liked that. And I was surprised because, like I said, I don't really care for black licorice too much. But the the lime and the black licorice together is kind of nice. And it's different. Like, sometimes you just want something different. These days, my vaping is pretty much like I have like a rotation of all day vapes that I go through, and that's pretty much it. Every now and then I'll try to make something different, but honestly most of the times they're just not good enough to be on a rotation of any sort. Like, I'd say like my last really good mixture that I've made was the red spree. That one I really like, and that one is on my rotation. It just tastes like a chewy red spree, which, I don't know, I like sprees. So check that out if you want to. It's on ELR. And then kiwi, I did the golden kiwi. This one was probably my least favorite of the 6 that I tried. But it could just be the fact that I mixed it too low. I was getting a lot of the skin of the kiwi and not a whole lot of the inside. And kiwi is actually one of my favorite fruits. And it's also something that I used to really enjoy vaping back in the day. Just for some reason over time I stopped mixing it, but I always enjoyed it. So I don't know if I'm sure at one point I've had a golden kiwi in real life, but I couldn't tell you what it tastes like compared to like a regular kiwi, if there is a difference. It's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. Hello, Vaping Bachelor. And I have not tried the yuzu. I've only tried 6 of. I haven't done a whole lot. Vape wise, I haven't anyway. Honestly, like, if I vaped this and didn't know it was a kiwi, I don't even know that I would know that it was a kiwi. And maybe it's because, to me, kiwis have always tasted kind of similar to strawberry, and I am a strawberry mute. So maybe that is playing into here. But it almost tastes like a pineapple. Yeah, like a canned pineapple. Which just kind of threw me off because, like, it's a flavor I recognized, but I didn't know what it was. But yeah, I'm getting like canned pineapple vibes, which isn't like necessarily a bad thing. It just was confusing. The increase in percentage to the 0.25 did help. But yeah, I wouldn't use this as a kiwi personally. I'd have to use it in something I wanted, like a cooked pineapple. You make a pizza vape with it? I don't know. Or in a bakery. But that's me. Like I said, I do have tasting issues, which is partially why I stopped doing... Like, if you want to know why I stopped doing videos, I think I have explained it a couple times. Ooh, sorry. Part of it is just because I was burnt out on doing videos. And then the other part is, like, I have tasting issues. So it's like, what is the point of giving my opinion on flavors and I'm not even sure what I'm tasting is accurate? You know what I mean? I seem to taste like most flavors normally, but, you know, who's to know? Yeah, a lot of things like to correct me to Ron, because Rin is not a horribly popular name, at least not in the US. Alright, the last one I did was Wintergreen. I really like Flavorah's mints. Like, Flavorah peppermint is my favorite peppermint. So I had high hopes for these, but I will say that when I mixed it, and I did mix this lower because if you don't know, Flavorah's mints are pretty strong, or at least the peppermint is. So I definitely don't want to overdo it. So I only did it at 0.25% to start, and while I could taste very much what it was a little bit subtle. So I did bump it up to 0.5%. And what I got initially at the 0.25% was those pink wintergreen hard candy things. And what I really wanted was like the Lifesaver variant. Because while I do like the little pink things, I do prefer the Lifesaver. So we'll see if increasing it helped at all. Yeah, not really. It's still more, well, I guess it's a little bit more life savory. But I feel like you would almost have to add like, what is that? The WF Wonder Flavors candy stick, where it's like those candy cigarette things. Like you'd have to add something like that to it to make it like a little bit more that route. I'm still getting a lot of the pink circle wintergreen things. Now I will say I haven't tried a whole lot of wintergreen. Like I think the only one I have is TFA. And I do like TFA's wintergreen. It's actually something I use in a recipe for like a mint. It isn't my recipe, it's somebody else's. But I think that's about it. I don't know that there's a whole lot of wintergreen vapes out there. And wintergreen in flavoring is kind of hard to do because a lot of them tend to go like mouthwashy or toothpaste like, so you do have to kind of be careful about them. I will say adding creams helps kind of like tone that down a bit, or like ice cream, stuff like that, but you do have to kind of like be careful. Another thing that can help is a lot of the mint flavorings are alcohol based or have some kind of alcohol in them. So if you find that it's a little bit too like mouthwashy, you can just like leave your cap off your e-liquid for a little bit and it helps kind of tone that down, or just steep it longer and that kind of dies down a bit. But yeah, that is what I've tried so far. The other flavors, if you don't know, are cactus aloe, yuzu, guava dark berry, dulce de leche, strawberry lime, grapefruit, jammy grape, sumo citrus, hibiscus sweet, candied blueberry, and pomegranate. Now I've smelled them all, but like I said, these are the only ones I've mixed so far. And yeah, overall I like them. The only one that I'm not super keen on is, like I said, that golden kiwi is throwing me off. But if I had to pick like a favorite, it probably would be that pink lemonade. I just, like I said, I am partial to lemonade and lemon mixtures just in general. And it's a really nice one. I don't know that I've ever even... Who else has a pink lemonade? I want to say Capella might. They probably do. If not, I know that they're because like one of my favorite, the one that actually caused the lemon blindness is DIY or Die. He has a mix that's called Pink Punch, I think it's called. And it's a replication of a popular like pink lemonade type drink. And I loved it so much. Obviously, like I vaped it like for 4 months straight. And yeah, it killed like my lemon receptors or whatever. So yeah, clearly I like that profile. So yeah, I do like that one the best. And then, I don't know, like the Salmiak, as much as I'm not a huge fan of licorice, like it's a really good licorice. So that'd probably be my second. And then, maybe the Creamsicle third. Liquid Barn. I want to say I've tried that, but I didn't really care for it. Honestly, I've never been like a huge Liquid Barn fan. I didn't hate them at all, but I never really found myself using them a whole lot. I don't know. I'm kind of a creature of habit, and if I find like a brand that I've tried several things from them and didn't really care for any of them, I tend to avoid them. and kind of just write them off, which I know is not nice. And because, I mean, every flavoring brand has flavors I don't like. But I do tend to gravitate towards certain ones. I just have better luck with, like, things like Flavorah, even before any kind of, like, because, like, I've met Bryson and everything. Before any of that could, like, sway, like, or make me biased, like, I liked them before all of that. So, I don't know, I've always had good luck with them. I don't tend to get a whole lot of off notes from them compared to, like, other places. So yeah, Flavorah, the Sobaki, the SSA, which prior to that was a Mullenberry, or I don't know. They're related, kind of. I don't know. That whole thing is confusing to me, but both of them I tend to have fairly good experience with. So yeah. Plus, the thing I like about Flavorah too is that their percentages are pretty consistent for me. Like, there's, like, definitely exceptions to that, such as their mints and alpine strawberry, rich cinnamon, where you mix them super low because they're very, very strong. But for the most part, I'm at like a 0.75 or 1% across the board for them if it's like a standalone. And then if it's going into something, it's usually like 0.25 up to 0.5. So yeah. Yeah. Admittedly, I don't mix a whole lot of other people's stuff, mainly because, like I said, I mix differently than a lot of people. I mix on the lower end, so it's hard for me to gauge when I can mix somebody at the regular percentages that they use, or is it something that's going to be horrible to me at that percentage because of my issues or sensitivities or whatever you want to call it. So it's like, it's hard, and I don't like to judge it even in my head if it's me that's kind of like the issue. That's what's hard about DIY sometimes is, you know, everyone's preferences are different. People use different equipment. People have different issues. So, I don't know. Yeah, ironically enough, I was never a huge fan of Inawera. Like, they have some good stuff for sure. And, like, back in the day, because, I mean, they've been around forever, there was a lot of things that they really did well. So, like, if you wanted, you know, whatever X thing, like, for example, for a longest time, I'm pretty sure that they were the only mint I like, because they have a garden mint, which is a really nice, just herbal mint flavor. Every other flavor at that time that I had tried was always like the more gum, artificial mint kind of flavor. And both have good, you know, applicate, like, you can, they both can be used for different things, but if you're doing, like, say, a drink, like a mojito, and you want an herbal mint note, you're not going to want to use something that's a gum type mint. It's going to taste weird. So things like that. Their shisha fruits were always pretty good, but I don't know. They kind of faded off after a while for me. And I never really liked their tobaccos. I don't know why. A lot of people rave about their tobaccos, and I don't know, I could never make them work for me. You can see the the cat back there. Blue, I don't know where she's at, but she's around. I could probably get her to come here. Bluebee! Yep, I heard her. Trying to come from, yep, there. You want to say hi? I'm going to start talking now. Hi. Want to say hi? Oh. Hey, let go of the thing. What's wrong with you? Sorry if that was loud. I was close to the mic. Here's Blue. Haven't seen her in a while. She's still as big and fluffy as she's always been, and a little bit of a weirdo. But yeah, she comes when I call her most of the time. Especially if she thinks she's gonna get something, which usually when I call her, it's for that. But yeah, there's Blue. Big old kitty. And then Misha. She's not so big. She's kind of tiny. Here's Misha. She's kind of confused. She was playing. She likes to play with twist ties. Like those little... They usually come with electronics to keep the cord together. She really likes those. So that's what she was playing with. But yeah. Those are the kitties. And they still don't really get along. Like, they'll play every now and then, but my hopes of them being close and playing with each other so they don't bother me as much is not a thing. I don't think it'll ever be a thing. Just their personalities don't, I guess, mesh. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here soon. If there's any questions you have, let me know before we leave. As far as where you can get these, let me see. Because I kind of stole Bryson's post when he did it on Instagram. Hope he doesn't care. He didn't seem to care. He liked it, so I don't know. So you can get them at Grenberry, Bull City, DIY Flavors, Flavorah, I don't know what that is, MMV, Nom Noms, and I'm sure other places. Oh, while I'm here, does anybody have a good recommendation for a rebuildable tank that has a restricted airflow or draw? Like closer to like an old school draw? Because my stepmom, she's trying to get away from her older tank system because it's becoming harder to get coils for it. But she doesn't like the draw because she got a tank of some sort and it was way too open. Like, she couldn't restrict it enough to be, like, satisfying. And I don't use tanks, so I have no idea. I just, ever since I got away from, I think the last tank that I enjoyed was the Beast. Whatever that was. I don't even remember who makes that. The Berserker. I've asked a couple people, but a lot of people have, I don't know, they went back to pods for some reason. Like, people really enjoy the pods. I guess because they're easy. And I haven't gotten any new vape stuff in forever. I want to say the last thing I bought was probably more of these. The Drop Dead, or Dead Rabbit, or whatever the hell it's called. Drop Rabbit. The Drop in the Rabbit thing. I got a couple more of those because they were on sale and I like the RDA. And then this Guar thing I've had forever. I've been using this thing ever since I got it. Mainly because it's the only larger battery mod that I have that takes the big ones. I don't think I have, well, take that back. I do have the Aegis, however you pronounce it, the single one uses the bigger batteries, but that's it. I don't need any more stuff. I'm not looking to buy stuff for myself. I mainly want to look into something for my stepmom tank wise. I don't want any more equipment. Every like new RDA or whatever that I've bought for a while now has been disappointing to me. Like, I bought the new Drop because I want to say Brian doesn't do that anymore. Like, he stopped, like, he's no longer affiliated with the new drops that have come out. So I tried the first one that wasn't like that he wasn't involved with, and I did not like it. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. So yeah, I've kind of stuck with this Dead Rabbit thing, or Drop Rabbit. What is it called? Yeah, that's what I thought. I might see if Phil Bastardo has any. Maybe I'll go through his thing. Because I know that at one point, he liked the more restricted draw. I don't watch a whole lot of vape stuff anymore. I really, really don't. If anything, I'll occasionally watch, like, kind of like podcasty vape shows, but, like, reviews and stuff I don't tend to watch. Because I don't buy anything. Like, if I'm not planning on buying anything, what's the point? And a lot of it's pod stuff anyway, which I'm not interested in. I get pods. I get why people like them. They're just not my thing. And I have mods that I haven't even used yet. Like, I got at least 3 or 4. Like, the... I can't even think of the name. It's not the Therion, but it's in that family. And it's not a thesaurus, but I want to say it's similar to the thesaurus. Or, like, the name is similar to thesaurus, but I have one of those, and I literally just, you know, tried it to see if it worked, and then left it. Because, quite frankly, those are on the pricier end as far as, you know, things that I buy. And... yeah, so it just kind of sits there. Oh, Centauris? Is it that what it was? I don't know. It was something with the us in it. Hello, Friction. Well, I mean, you could buy pods and, like, put your own stuff in them, but... which, like, the people that I know that like them, I'm pretty sure that's what they do. I don't know. Not for me. I don't like the fiddle. Like, that's the thing that I love about, like, people don't understand why I use RDAs, like, strictly. It's because I don't have to fiddle with it. I don't have to worry about the airflow being weird. Like, if it is, I just turn the little thing and it's good. I don't have to worry about it spitting on me or leaking unless I overdrip, which does happen sometimes, but it's not that big of a deal. I don't have to tear it all apart just to fix something on it. Like, it's just... I don't know. That's why I got away from tanks. Like, it just was too much fiddling, and I don't have patience for that. I'll stay until 5 o'clock just because I like to end on either even numbers, like times. And I just really wanted to pop on here to do this. And I'm not making any guarantees that I'm going to make another video anytime soon, but I feel like I'm more inclined to just because I have it set back up again. And I do want to go over some of the other flavors. Especially that other licorice, just to see how it compares. And then I've heard good things about, I want to say Sumo Citrus, Yuzu, and the grape. The grape, I'm not going to lie, kind of scares me. It smells like it could be very easily the kind of grape I don't like. Like the Diamond-Tap kind of grape. Just by smelling it. But we'll have to see. Some things I can't really judge too much just on how they smell. I don't know. Like I said, I just got burnt out with doing YouTube. Like, I had been doing YouTube for a long time. Like, before I started doing live shows, I was doing it fairly regularly. I want to say I was more regular, at least on my own channel, doing videos when it was just me. Didn't have, like, any other side things going on. And that was mainly just because, like, I had the time to do it, and a lot of it was pre-recorded. And then I got more into doing lives. Like, I don't even know if I can do recorded content anymore, or pre-recorded. It's different. It's harder to stay on topic. It's harder to not feel weird at least for me, just being so far removed from it, I don't know that I could go back to doing it, even though it would probably be easier, because then I wouldn't be time constrained. I could do it whenever I wanted to do it. Not that I am super time constrained now. I don't know. But yeah, I just was burnt out with doing YouTube. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Plus, I was like getting really frustrated with how my taste buds or whatever were, and how like half the crap that I mixed didn't feel like it tasted right. So it was just frustrating. And I just needed a break. Plus, I had a lot going on, you know, with the Momo thing, because I'm pretty sure that was around the time where I really pulled back. But it had been a slow kind of decline for a while before that, even. But yeah, other than that, like, not a whole lot has changed. Not much else going on in my world, anyway. I was watching an old show, because if you didn't know, me and Yeti for a very brief time had a paranormal podcast thingy that we did, and I was listening to our one about Sasquatch and Yeti. It was pretty interesting. I've gotten more into the paranormal again, which is sometimes not good, because I don't know, it can kind of trigger my anxiety, because it makes me overthink more than I already do, which I don't need any help with. But I've been getting into it again, so I've been listening to Paratopia, which I think what really, because I'm always interested in the paranormal, but like sometimes I delve into it harder than other times. And what kind of triggered that was for the longest time, I lost my Paratopia podcast, because I tried looking online. I couldn't even find it there anymore, like anywhere. But like at a time, you could buy like their whole, like all their episodes on like whatever. So I had it on this flash drive, but I could not find it anywhere. And I was redoing my new laptop, and I needed a flash drive to transfer some stuff from my old laptop to the new one. And I found that flash drive. It was just in my purse the whole time. Like, I thought it was something else, but it turns out it was that. So like when I went to open the files to see what, you know, was already on there, I saw it was that, and I was super excited, because like I've been wanting to listen to some of the podcasts again, and I couldn't. So that's what triggered that. I started listening to that again, and then it kind of just opened up everything. But yeah, I was listening to the Sasquatch thing with Yeti. It was pretty fun. I could talk about that stuff like all day. Like if there was like one, like I forget who I was talking to. Something about a job, like what your ideal job would be, or what it would consist of, or whatever. And that's probably like the one thing that I could never get sick of, is that kind of stuff. Like it just interested me so much. Even, I don't know. I know a lot of it's like weird, but I mean, if you haven't noticed, I'm weird. So I don't know. It's interesting to me, regardless of if it's all of it's real or any of it's real or whatever. I just find it very interesting. If you've never, well, I know I flashed it fairly quickly on one of my streams, and it got flagged. But Nuke's Top 10 is a good YouTube channel that goes over paranormal videos and stuff. But there's also a couple of other ones. I can't remember. Well, let me see. I have like my laptop over here. See if I can switch it real quick. So It's like a weird name. It's like Bubs something. Bizarre Bub. He does a similar thing to the Nukes Top 10, but it's different, like different videos. But essentially they just take videos that people either send to them or they find of supposed paranormal events and just like show you them. So it's like really interesting. A lot of them I feel like they're BS or like reaching, but I don't know, they're still interesting to me. So if you ever want to like check stuff out on YouTube in that realm, those are two ones that are pretty interesting to me. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. Like, my mouth's already getting dry from talking, and it's close enough to 5. But thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, you can put them in this comment box below. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here.